Hi, everyone. Good morning. The one thing that fish know nothing about is water because they don't know what wet feels like because they've never been dry. Similarly, I would argue that we are all immersed in our media and we don't know the impact it's having on our lives. In fact, not only have we entered the digital age, the damn digital age has entered us. The way we think, the way we act, the way we behave, the way we make love has completely changed in the last couple of years. And I have a hypothesis of why this has happened. Firstly, I think it's because we are exposed to completely different worlds, different realities. And secondly, I think we are recording our lives all the time. But we need to understand what we mean by recording our lives and adding to this media heap. Firstly, you need to understand media is a tricky thing. Every form of media, whether it's writing, film, photography, animation, painting, any form of media, always began representing reality and real life. But very trickily, it soon transcended it and always overthrew reality. And this is really exciting because the moving picture is no longer just a galloping horse, it's a galloping fantasy. And we need to understand media in this light. Reality is no longer a real thing, it's only a reference point in the life we now live. Look at this campaign. President Obama's supporters actually met virtually, created a movement to impact the real world. And this is profound. I would argue that every media matures only after it transcends reality. Then why the hell do we open the New York Times and look at the front picture and say, tell me about Syria? Why do we look for truth in pictures? Why? Why do we look at Facebook to see what our friends are up to? I have a hypothesis. My hypothesis is this. Earlier, God was the ultimate witness. God was then replaced by the eyewitness. And the eyewitness was replaced by the camera or the photograph. Unfortunately, nothing has come to relieve the photograph of this burden of representing the truth. And I think this is a problem because can the photo really tell us the truth? This is one of the most famous photos in American journalism in history. But the one thing we know about this photo is it sparked an anti-war movement in America. But what we don't know is that innocent civilian actually massacred several lives before being shot. And what we don't know is the photographer who took the picture actually said, I killed the general with my camera. The photo lies. If this is the case, why do we still trust the camera, the photograph? I would argue the digital photo, which pretends to be a nice predecessor, something that came after the analog photo, is actually even deadlier than the analog photo because the digital photo is just data. It's raw data waiting to be manipulated, reconfigured by man, machine, app, whatever you want. And in the hands of the photographer, the artist, the curator, the remixer, that photo is going to assume so many different meanings. Look at this picture. It's virtually impossible for an amateur to realize that this extremely popular viral photo was completely fake and manufactured. Now look at this photograph. This is a more recent picture of a Syrian orphan sleeping, lying next to his parents. Little do you know that that guy was actually an artist's nephew posing for an art installation. Can we rely on social media? Can we rely on photographs to tell us the truth anymore? Now, to further complicate the situation, we also perform for the damn photograph. We perform our lives for the camera. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you, I'm not pretending to be morally superior than you guys. I may be, but I'm not pretending. I do this on Facebook all the time. I perform this personality that I am. In fact, my daughter turned 3 recently, and we organized a birthday party for her. We planned it in such a way that it'll look beautiful on Facebook. Shh, don't tell my wife that. But what happened was it was miserable. She had so much candy, so much cake. She was screaming through the party. She was really miserable when she had to give away the giveaway gifts to her friends. She basically had a rough time. But I, talented as I am, found those 5 photos that made her look really beautiful and happy and enjoying her time. Because there's no way in hell, hi, there's no way in hell was I going to show the world that I had a miserable birthday for my 3-year-old. So people see this on Facebook. I get hundreds of likes. I get a lot of people saying, hey, can you teach me how to be such a cool parent? I love the way your family looks so beautiful on Facebook. And I give advice. I love giving advice. That's why I'm up here. But what I realized is I'm not giving them advice. I'm giving myself advice. Those photos have less to do with the truth and more to do with the parent I want to be. And if that is the case, we are recording the lives we live and also starting to live the lives we record. And I think this is quite exciting. If we can channelize our energy in even pretending to live in a better world, maybe we can actually have that as a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's what's exciting me. When we see things like this, people experiencing the most sacred moments in their life through that flat world that we didn't fall off of, what happens is they're not trying to bring the truth closer to them. They're trying to make the truth, the real, more unreal. They're trying to live the fantasy they've always wanted to live. And I love this chart. Look at this. The frequency of miracles plummets when the camera was invented. Thank God for Photoshop. We now have our miracles back. Now that I have this amazing family, I'm a prolific artist. I produce progeny. And now that I have this big, beautiful family, I think about what kind of a world do I want to bring up my children in? Will they ever know about their childhood through the Facebook photos that I share? And, you know, my wife and I thought about it and we said, we can't promise our children a life without bias. We are firstly Indian and we're bloody biased. We thought we'll bias them instead with as many perspectives as possible. So we decided to do an experiment on our children. We figured they're anyway going to hate us when they grow up. Mein Vater ist ein unbekanntes Lebewesen, is what they're going to say when they grow up. So why not try experiments on them? I never taught them what a circle ever was. We homeschooled them. We instead showed them multiple pictures that actually represented circular formations, circles in the negative space, in the real world, and let them infer from that exposure what circular meant. They never knew what, by the end of this exercise, they could recognize a trapezoid without counting the edges, parallel lines, stuff like that. It was visual literacy. My argument is that the literate of the future are going to be literate in pen and picture because we are inundated with pictures. So I'm really excited to say that we are now taking this a step further. I formed a company with my founders, co-founders, Netra and Adrian, and what we're doing is we're trying to imagine the future of the visual web. And here is our thesis. I can't show it to you because we're in stealth and you guys can't steal my idea. Joking, you can laugh about it, it's okay. All your VCs here. But what's exciting is, thank you. What's exciting is that here's our mission. Our mission is to empower people to share their lives, not as it is, but as they see it, because we think that will engender the much needed empathy that the world needs. And the currency of tomorrow, of the picture, is empathy. Thank you so much. Thank you.